Not that long ago, Mito came out with a watch that was called the Multifort 8 2 Crowns. And they've come out with a new watch called the Multifort 8 1 Crown. This is their take on an everyday sports watch. The watch that is meant to compete with the likes of Christopher Ward and the 12, and of course the Tissot PRX, which is in the same family. If you're in the market for an affordable, good-looking, integrated bracelet watch, definitely stay tuned for the Mito Multifort 8 1 Crown. So right off the bat, the name on this watch is a little bit complicated. It's called the Multifort 8 1 Crown. So the 8 and the 1 are right next to each other. So it's not the 81 crown, it's the 8 1 Crown. And the reason why is because when this first came out, it came out in a dual crown setup, which got 200 meters of water resistance. Now they are making it in a 1 crown setup, which gets 100 meters of water resistance. So this is more of an everyday sports watch versus a dive watch, I guess. However, with that being said, never mind the name, it's a great looking watch. And it gives you a lot of vibes of very expensive integrated bracelet watches like the Girard-Perregaux Laureato and maybe a few others. However, the design here is somewhat its own, obviously taking inspiration from that era, from the 1970s, from integrated bracelet watches that were designed by maybe Gerald Genta and the likes of the Laureato. This has a beautiful blue dial. I would describe it as electric blue, and there's a very, very light texture to the dial, which you only see when you get very up close. It's a slotting, it's horizontal, and when you get very close you can see it, but when you're far away, it just gives it a little bit of a shimmery effect, I would say, and you really can't see the texture all that well. I kind of like it because it makes it a very dynamic dial without giving you a very pronounced texture. Today's video is brought to you by my friends over at Strap Habit. Strap Habit offers a large variety of high quality straps for excellent prices. Even those odd sizes like 19 and 21 millimeter. They offer a lifetime guarantee and everything is shipped from the US, usually within 1 day. Strap Habit is owned and run by a watch enthusiast. Just go to their website, check out their blog, which is written by the owner, and you'll see. Check out Strap Habit's website if you're in the market for a strap or you just want to get a fresh look. I'll put a link down in the description. You have applied indices. There's a lume on the indices. There's lume on the hand, so we'll do a lume shot towards the end. You have a date at the 3 o'clock, taking the place of the 3 o'clock index or part of the place of the 3 o'clock index. And then you have a chapter ring that matches the dial. You do not get a color matched date window on that date. However, I guess because it's taking part of that 3 o'clock index, it kind of makes sense that it's not. Right below the 12 o'clock index, it says Mito Automatic. Right above the 6 o'clock index, it says Multifort, which is the name of this watch. You have a screwed-in crown, screwed-in case back. The case back, you do get to see the movement, which is an ETA movement. It has 80 hours of power reserve, basically a Powermatic 80 under a different name, but it is technically, I guess, bespoke to Mito, but it is a Powermatic 80. It gets 80 hours of power reserve, automatic based on an ETA movement. On the Mito website, it says that this is a 40 millimeter watch. I measured 39.6 millimeters, somewhere in that range. It is around 10 millimeters thick. I measured 9.9 millimeters thick. And then the lug to lug is around 50 millimeters if you include those lug ends. So these male end lengths. And it's around 44.7 millimeters at the case. So depends on how you wear it and how you measure it, but it does not bother my 7.5 inch wrist whatsoever because I have a large wrist. A 50 millimeter lug to lug is really not that big of a deal. You have a very nice bracelet on here, really odd center links. As you can see, they're sort of faceted, and you move it around, it really does look pretty good, and it feels really good. Everything here feels really nicely finished and very nicely made. The entire bracelet has a polished edge. It is a very thick polished edge. I believe you get pin and collar. There are solid links, solid end links, and quick release. Like I said, you get a screwed-in case back with a sapphire crystal. You get to see that movement, which is their Powermatic 80. It is signed, or at least the rotor is signed, and overall I think looks pretty good. On my wrist today, I have one of the latest additions to my collection. This is a Mara Musi 41 millimeter Unix with their micro rotor. It is an awesome watch, and I am very excited about it, and I cannot wait to make a video about this watch. It also gets a hand-hammered dial. And there is the 1 crown on my 7.5 inch wrist. Like I was saying, this is a 39.6 millimeter watch with a lug-to-lug of around 50 millimeters, depending on how you measure it at that bracelet. It's around 44 and change if you are measuring it on a strap, but obviously I have this on the bracelet. It does not wear large on my 7.5 inch wrist, and it is also thin, around 10 millimeters thick. The only complaint that I would have about this watch is that this does not have any on-the-fly micro adjust built into the clasp. So this is a double push button butterfly clasp, and there is no on-the-fly micro adjust. And I think that they should be able to figure out something to add on-the-fly micro adjust into these watches. It would make a lot of sense, and they would be able to compete with micro brands, which are starting to do that now. So very important that brands like Mito and all the brands from the Swatch Group get on board with micro adjust. And there you go. There's lume on the hands and indices. It's pretty decently applied. It's pretty bright. There is no lume on the second hand. I wish there was lume on the second hand so I could see that my watch is working in the dark. Overall, I think this is a really good looking watch. It's really nicely made as well. It's missing on the fly micro adjust at this price point. It should have on the fly micro adjust. I think the competition, most of the competition, not all of the competition, but most of the competition at around this price point has on the fly micro adjust. So it is definitely something to keep in mind. Really good looking and really well made. And I mean, really well made compared to most of the competition. You're going to notice a notable uptick in quality in this watch versus basically all of the competition. Price on this is $1,070. So it's right there with all the other micro brands and major brands and what they're charging for integrated bracelet watches that are really well made, like the cream of the crop. It's right in that price range, except it doesn't get that micro adjust. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. Other than that, I think this is a really cool watch. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below. I want to hear from you guys. I will add a link to this watch down in the description below. Definitely check it out if you're interested. I think it's a really good looking watch. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It's super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. Again, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.